Welcome to All Gen Gamers, a podcast for people in video games of all generations. Starring Pete Dorr, Happy Console Gamer, Gamester81, and Jason Heine.
Guys, welcome back. This is John, Gamester81. This is episode 41 of the All Gen Gamers podcast. We got Johnny Millennium. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, Gamester. And Gamster's actually hanging up here in Vancouver tonight. He drove all the way up from Seattle. Took him 2.5 hours to get here. He's doing the podcast. And right after this, he's going back down to Seattle. Another 2.5 hour drive.
I had to get the poutine.
Yes, and we'll get into that in a second. So
yes.
Definitely glad to be on the podcast once again.
We got Jason Heine. Jason, what's up, man?
What's up, guys?
We got Pete Dorr. Pete, what's going down?
9 days clean.
Nice.
9 days now, huh?
9 days. No Final Fantasy 11. But
Did you cancel your? You canceled your account?
I never cancel my account. Are you kidding me?
You can't do it.
And it's our pleasure. We have PatTheNESPunk join us today in this episode. Pat, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Big fan of your videos. I know, kind of tell us briefly about your channel and what you do, what you review, and your website and all that good stuff.
Well, being someone of the NES Punk variety, I review almost exclusively the original Nintendo Entertainment System games, the system, some of the quirks. I basically choose games that are neither really good to me or really bad, but those that just sort of stand out are unique in some way. For example, a game like The Three Stooges was one of the games I really loved as a kid, but not many reviewers would even sort of touch a game like that. Or a game like Action 52, which has been done by other reviewers, but to me still a quirky game because it was basically put together by a Florida-based company that went out of business. And so it's kind of like a quirky game because of that. I also do, flea market videos where I'm a big flea market fan. I've been going to flea markets for about 10 years at least. So I do videos like that. And my videos, if you follow them from the beginning, they almost follow like a story arc. I have characters that pop in and out and sort of wacky things happen.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's funny. Your championship cart video is classic, dude. It's funny.
Yeah, thanks. That was a lot of work into that one.
We were just watching that, and I was like, my God, I remember I talked to you, Pat. It was a long time ago. And I watched one of your videos, and it just killed me. And you're sitting with your girlfriend, and I think she's telling you how she wants you to get rid of all your NES games. And then you say that line, you're like, I love towels. And I thought,
yeah. I saw that one too.
I started laughing hysterically. And you know what's crazy? I can't get that fucking thing out of my head. Every once in a while, I hear that, I love towels. It's like,
that was like almost like a season finale sort of. That was my Panic Restaurant review, which again, Panic Restaurant is a great game, but not many people have even heard of it outside of like really hardcore NES fanatics. And that was great. My friend Allison, she was really cool she's been in a few of my videos, and she was really trooper to go through all of that stuff. And let me put my lips on her too. So that was
there you go.
very nice for her to do that.
Yeah, how many takes did you do that one?
Only about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Take 200.
No. But yeah, you have great production value. Your videos are absolutely hysterical. We were just watching that one just before as well. It's really awesome.
It's funny. And what I like, Pat, is you review obscure Nintendo games that a lot of people don't necessarily know about. Like, I remember the one you did like a karaoke one. Wasn't it like a karaoke? Can you tell us about that game real quick?
The karaoke one,
wasn't it? What was the name of it? I'm trying to blank on.
Are you thinking of when I sang Sunday Fun Day karaoke during the marathon?
That's it. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that was during the NES marathon where I played every Nintendo game in a row over 31 hours. And the Sunday Fun Day has a karaoke section on the game. Sunday Fun Day was actually the last game produced for the NES in 1995 by Wisdom Tree, who produced 7 Bible games.
Right.
And there was actually a group, a Christian rock band called For Him, that I guess licensed their song, which is called The Ride, short for the Roller Coaster Ride of Life. And that's one of the games on Sunday Fun Day, the karaoke. And during the marathon, we not really threatened, but we basically said, we're going to sing this. At that point, we'd been up, I'd probably been up for about 38, 39 hours at that point. And so we just belted out, that tune, and we gave it our all.
Wow.
Now, what was that for? You did this whole marathon thing. You gotta elaborate on that because that sounds pretty interesting.
Well, it was the 25th anniversary of the NES's release in North America. Was October 18th, 1985. and no one was really doing anything for it, which was kind of shocking to me. It wasn't really even getting acknowledged that much, maybe an article here or there. So I was like, you know what? Being that that's what I'm known for is that my love for the NES, I have to put together something. So I talked to my one friend AJ, and he said, you should really just do a marathon. And when he said that, I had already been thinking that for a couple weeks. And I said, that'd be the perfect thing. And no one has ever played every game for the system in a row, let alone on the real hardware.
How many games? How many games on the system?
There's the unofficial number somewhere around 773.
Yeah.
That takes into account doubles of games like the Super Mario Duck Hunt combo cart. For the marathon, I only played each unique game once, so it came out to roughly 750, somewhere around there.
Do you own every single game then, Pat?
I own every game except for 4. And for those 4, we still played them, but in reproduction cart form.
Yeah, which are the 4 that you're missing?
I do not have the Porno Panesian games, which is Bubble Bath Babes, Peekaboo Strip Poker, and Hot Slots. And I do not own Stadium Events. Cheetah Man 2 wasn't actually released. Cheetah Man 2, going back to Active Enterprises, who made the abysmal action video game, Cheetah Man 2 was found, I believe, by Mike Etler or one of his associates in late 99, around there. They were all not even packaged up. There was boxes separate from the actual game carts and materials. So they found, I think, 1,000 of them, put them together, put the boxes together themselves with the games, threw the games in, and then shrunk wrap them and sold them to collectors. So by that account, Cheetah Man 2 was not actually released retail.
Wow. So it's kind of an unofficial release, essentially. Sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you actually know about Cheetah Man 2, the game actually, you cannot even beat it unless you play it on an emulator with a ROM that's been tampered with, because I believe it's after the 4th level, the game just crashes. So they rushed them out and didn't even do quality control on them.
How much is that guy selling those for?
Well, he doesn't have them anymore. They all sold out, I believe. This is before I really got into collecting, and I wish I got a copy, because nowadays they go for anywhere from $700 to $1,000.
Wow.
You can't get any loose because they were all sealed to begin with. So getting one loose is extremely hard to find. So you might as well just buy one. And they're mostly shrunk wrap, which doesn't make any sense anyway, because they were shrunk wrap, after they were found.
Yeah,
so it's
by this guy or what? Yeah. That's amazing.
So you have a championship cart, though, huh?
Maybe I do. Maybe I do.
How much does that go for, the championship?
Oh, there's one on eBay right now for $6,500 or best offer. They go from anywhere from 4 to 10. They've got, I think the highest I've seen one go was 10,000 for a gray cart.
The gold cart goes for significantly more, no?
The gold cart goes for more, yes. The problem is with that is that they never come up for sale, because for the gold ones, they only made 26 for sure. The gray ones, we're not sure how many were actually made, but the gold ones, only 26 were made, but only 12 have been found or have been, documented to be out there somewhere. 12 out of 26. And so for the past 3-4 years, I think there's only been, I believe, only 2 different ones that were sold. The last 2 sales are actually the same cart, and one before that was sold, I believe, in the digital press store in person for at least, I think it was $10,000 in cash. I believe that was 2007.
Wow.
Wow. It's unbelievable. So what do you think, what is about the NES that you like about it, and why do you think it's so popular even today?
It reinvigorated the video game, home video game industry. It was dead. You guys probably noticed, just as well as I do, about the video game crash of about '83, when at that point the home video games were just dead. Retailers didn't want to carry them; they wanted nothing to do with them. So Nintendo not only put video games back on the map in terms of home video game business, but they created so many cultural icons that before that no video game system had done by in and of itself. I mean, you had games like Pac-Man that were in the arcade, but they were also on 3 or 4 different, systems. You can get them on the computer at the same time, bootleg versions. But games like Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, they were synonymous with a video game system called Nintendo. It's not like you can play them anywhere else. And so at that time, it really dominated. I mean, you had other systems out at the same time as the NES for the first couple of years, like the Sega Master System. You had the Atari 7800. I believe you had the XE out as well, but they never caught on. Everyone affiliated video games with Nintendo. That was it.
Yeah.
Until about '89. That's what you played. 90%. I think Nintendo had something like a 90% market share until the Sega Genesis came out, which is incredible to think about.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this in one of the videos, but when Nintendo came out initially in 85, they were hesitant to call it a gaming system. They called it an entertainment system. Like they packed in Rob, and it's interesting that the marketing strategy behind that,
Retailers didn't want to stock it.
Right. You have an original box one from like the test market, don't you? Like with Rob Man or Rob?
Yeah.
Rob Man. He's the the deluxe set was sold up until I believe somewhere in 1988. I'm not positive when they stopped selling it, but it was sold for about 2.5 years, up to 3 years max. Let's just say 3 years. Let's just say it was sold up until all of 88. But yeah, the original version for the first, I believe 6 months or so, you could only get the system that had Rob, and which came with Gyromite, Duck Hunt, and the Zapper. And if you ever see those systems, they don't have anything on the cover. They do not denote any sort of system type. It just says Nintendo on it, and you see Rob's face, and the rest of the front is black.
Yeah.
So those are the original release ones, and those are pretty hard to find. I want to say only about 10%, maybe 20% of the deluxe sets have that. The other deluxe sets after that actually say deluxe set, because by that time the action set was coming out and the regular console set was coming out, so they needed a way to differentiate it.
I know you go to a lot of flea markets too, huh?
Yeah, you could say that. Sure, I've been going to flea markets since I want to say probably '99, since I started getting back into, I guess, recapturing my the games from my youth.
And do you have
your best finds that you've found at flea markets? Would you say?
Whew, that's tough. They range from anything from a complete boxed, almost mint Atari Jaguar system for like $20 to even a few weeks ago I found Evo for the Super Nintendo for $5, which is an incredibly hard to find game.
Was it complete or loose?
No, it was just loose.
Okay. That's still a really good deal, though, because that's like an $80 game loose right there.
Oh yeah. But I've gotten a lot of good deals just from Craigslist and from private deals from people that want to get rid of a lot of stuff. I've gotten Craigslist deals where it was like, here's a Sega Master System, 40 Sega Master System games, the 3D glasses, for like $25. Like incredible deals like that, or it's just like, wow. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even have any real Sega Master System library of games. But in terms of the flea markets, it's hit or miss. You can go 3-4 months without finding something extraordinary. And then, like, for example, a few months ago, I found like a box complete ColecoVision, a box complete, the trackball controller, and the pedal and steering wheel box set, all for like, $60, $70.
Wow.
And that stuff is worth about $200 to $250, all three of those pieces, with like 20 games, 25 games.
Oh, wow. You gotta love that feeling when you find shit like that,
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's almost at this point, since I have so many things in my collection, it's almost just the thrill of the hunt. It's not even like looking. I mean, there's games I still look for, but they're very few and far between. Obviously, I'm not going to go to a flea market now and ever find a Nintendo game I don't have, with the exception of those few, which it's going to be impossible for me to find. Then again, never say never. But yeah, it's just really going out there, seeing what people have, and kind of like, wow, I can't believe I found that. And
do you use it like a camera when you're doing it? Do you have like a camera in your hat? Because I know a lot of people have done that.
I don't know if I want to give away my trade secrets, but I do videotape some of these. I've done 4 Flea Market Madness videos. I've shot about 13 of them. So they're going to be collecting dust for a while on my hard drive. But yeah, I do it somewhat inconspicuously. Some people know I'm doing it, but some people don't care.
Like glasses, cameras, and glasses.
Do you know what? Yeah, I remember there's another guy on YouTube that used to do that. He used to have the camera in the hat.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Yeah. That's kind
camera in the hat. Interesting. I know the guy that owns Game Gavel. He does some videos like that.
He wears glasses, I think, to do it.
I gave him that idea. Yeah, I told him there's glasses out there with sunglasses with like a microphone and a camera in them, and he's been using them ever since.
I definitely use those. I'm not going to give away too much, but I've definitely used those. But the quality's terrible, and they it corrupted the data so much that I lost so much good footage of me, especially of Frank being wacky, that I just threw out those glasses after a while. I said I'm done with them. They're too much.
It's too bad. Yeah.
So here's a question, because you're such a big fan of the NES. What is your favorite NES game of all time? It's always a good question.
It's hard to pick one. It's almost like picking a favorite movie. I don't have favorites overall. I think by genre, I can probably give you some favorites.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you're talking like, I don't know, like an action game, Contra has to be up there. If you're going sports, you're talking games like, well, actually action would be Mike Tyson Punch Out of Well. I was going to say sports, but that's more of an action game. Sports games, you're talking like Tecmo Super Bowl, Baseball Stars, and Blades of Steel, to name a few. If you want to talk like adventure games, you're going, obviously Legend of Zelda is up there. Yeah. It's obviously it's not just one; it's a bunch. Obviously there's more obscure games I like a North and South, which is a Civil War strategy game that not many people touch upon. Hudson's Adventure Island, which isn't obscure, but that's obviously an adventure game that's really high on my list. Even games like Mickey Mouse Capade, I'm a fan of.
Yeah, I like the Disney Adventure or whatever the one Disneyland one.
Oh, Adventures in the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, that's the one.
Fantastic game.
I've never really gotten into it too much, but I know that's you're basically playing on all the rides, correct? You're going all.
Yeah, there's like you have the haunted house and there's Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's pretty funny. But there's like a map. You walk around Disneyland Park and you collect items. It's funny.
It's actually funny. I have a funny little story about that game. I went to Goodwill. This was probably last December. I went to a Goodwill and they had a boxed Dr. Mario. They had a boxed Tetris, and they had a boxed Adventures in Magic Kingdom. And I'm not saying like these were, beat up. These things were flawless. I mean, these carts, the boxes, they were shiny. Like you could still see the shine on them. It was ridiculous. They wanted $5 a piece for them.
Oh, that's a good deal.
And so I picked them up, all of them, and came home and I opened up the Adventures in Magic Kingdom because I love that game. The game's complete with the cart, the little styrofoam, the sleeve. It has the manual. It also has the fold-out map. It has a map of the entire, the area where you can roam around, the Magic Kingdom. So it has all that with it. Very cool. So this is a cool little story. Love that game. Really cool game.
Yeah, absolutely. Good story. What's your favorite accessory, Pat, for the NES? Any come to mind? There's been a ton of them.
I know, and that's what makes the NES such a great system to collect is because there's not even another system that even comes close to having the number of different accessories that the NES had. I always joke with my cousin Dennis, who collects the Super Nintendo stuff. It's a boring system to collect because outside of the games, there's nothing really else to get for the Super Nintendo.
Super Scope 6 and
Super Scope, the Super Batter Up. You have the Hudson 5 or 6 player adapter, but besides that, there's not a whole lot else out there. Besides maybe the ASCII ASCII joystick. You had like maybe the Street Fighter joystick that Capcom came out with, I believe, and you had like the Super Advantage. But the Nintendo had literally over 100 different accessories and controllers. There's stuff that I see on websites sometimes. I'm like, wow, I didn't even heard of that. But in terms of the favorite. I have the Power Glove, not boxed, but in the collector's. I guess it was a collector's. It came in like a case. There's actually a case that you open up. It has like this little area to put the Power Glove in. That's a cool one. I have the Konami Laser Scope boxed complete. That's a wacky one where you strap it on your head. You say fire and it acts like a zapper.
I totally have that too.
Yeah, it's insane that they came out with that. I have the Rollin' Rocker, which is pretty hard to find. Remember my friend had it as a kid, and we were trying to use it to play Skate or Die, and it was like next to impossible to use. But that was fun. I'm trying to think of what else. There's a lot of things. They actually had a wireless zapper back then. It was called the Pro Beam, and I have that boxed. I could probably run in my closet and see all the different accessories.
It's funny because Pat, you mentioned the Power Glove with a case, but Pete weren't we at PAX East and they had a panel?
Thing, yeah, but they had Joe Centulli and all those guys there, and even they had never seen it before. Some of them, I'm sure the one that Pat's talking about is different. The one they brought to PAX East was like this all black case. I think it had like just a Nintendo logo somewhere on the bottom corner. But apparently none of them had ever seen it before, so they think it was some kind of prototype piece for it. What exactly does the case look like for your Power Glove?
It's let's see, it's black. It's about 3.5 feet long. I forget if it says Nintendo on the bottom right or Mattel. I think it says Nintendo. You open it up and it's just there's like a plastic piece where you put the glove. and underneath, I believe. Actually, no, there's two different trays. That's right. There's one tray for the power glove. There's one for the sensors. There's also a spot to put a game or two, which would be
Like the same thing.
That seems like the same thing. Yeah,
it's not a prototype. It's just off eBay. They come up on eBay every now and then. They're not easy to find, but they're not a prototype. That's for sure.
Just seems so strange because none of them there. They were doing sort of like, I don't know if you knew about it. They did a sort of like a road show, kind of antiques road show with video games there, and they had a whole bunch of people bringing up items and they were appraising them, and then someone brought that up, and apparently none of them had ever seen it before, which I kind of find it hard to believe that it might be the same thing as yours. It might have been a different variation.
Well, not everyone's an expert on the NES, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be the same case. You never know.
I think my favorite accessory is probably the Miracle Piano.
That I actually do not have. I've seen that at the flea markets a couple of times, loose. But the problem is, first off, to me, it's like, what am I going to do with that big thing if I have it?
Yeah.
And second, there's so many pieces to that. There's the MIDI cable. There's the pedals.
Right.
That I don't want it unless it's complete. And if you try to piece it together, it's just going to be a pain in the ass. So I don't want that thing, really.
Yeah. I got mine for a decent deal. The only thing, it didn't come with a power adapter, but actually the normal NES power adapter works for it. Same.
Okay.
Voltage. So just so you know, but it's pretty cool. It's actually a pretty decent like piano, like electric keyboard.
Oh yeah, this thing. I remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think it came out for the Genesis and the Super Nintendo as well. PC as well, I think. But
it was definitely on the Super Nintendo and PC. I'm not sure on the Genesis.
Yeah, I think maybe not the Genesis, but yeah, PC, Super Nintendo. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
and I definitely have the game in my collection because, well, the game is not too hard to find, but that's not technically even to me. That's not really considered an official game of the library because it's not, because you don't play it. Like during the marathon, I think we put it on just to put it on. You can't activate anything without the keyboard.
Right.
You know? It's kind of like the RacerMate cartridge. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the RacerMate, where it was like an exercise bike equipment you hooked up to your Nintendo. And it was like a training sort of a thing. And I have that game too, but that's not really a game.
How much is an exercise bike?
Trying to think how often they come up for sale. I mean, they were usually dismantled or used for something else. They got to go for at least $700-800. You have all the pieces.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
I mean, it's basically not. I'm not trying to think it's an entire bike or just the front part with the pedals, and you hook it up to another bike. Yeah, it's not something that's common, and they didn't make a whole lot of them.
And one accessory you have, the M8, which is pretty cool. Explain that, and the M82.
The M8, the M is basically Nintendo's sort of shorthand for I guess it's for model or commercial model or demonstration displays. So they number from M1 up to what we are now, even today. And the M8 was the first sort of demonstration unit that they would put into stores where you can actually play the Nintendo games in the store. So there's 3 different models. I have I believe the second of the third models, or the third, I forget. But they didn't make that many of them, and there's not really many around today. So, it's you had a monitor on top of this. Picture, an old school, computer where not a tower before there are towers, they're regular, they laid flat. So it looks like that. And on the front, you have a listing of games and a button to scroll through the games. Now, these were on a giant ROM board inside this demonstration unit. So it's not like they were actual games. They were, burned, ROMs. And so they were the original black box games. And there was a timer on the back for how long you can play each game. I believe it was from 30 seconds up to, I believe, only 24 or 28. I think it's 24 or 28 minutes for that one. So yeah, they're actually individually numbered, and it's estimated. People don't know how many were made, but it could be only maybe a couple thousand were actually made to begin with.
Wow. And
most are probably destroyed. I mean, they rarely come up on eBay. Maybe once a year they come up on eBay, if that.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing.
What do you think about the new Nintendo, the new console that's coming out? Are you excited about a new Nintendo launch?
Yes and no. I mean, I don't do too much modern gaming at this point.
I didn't think you did, but I had to ask. Yeah.
But I'm kind of excited just because, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I always said to people, even a couple years ago, that all Nintendo has to do in order to, I mean, they're still number one in terms of how many systems are sold, but if they really want to sort of put their boot to Sony and Microsoft's neck. They had to just come out with an updated system that does exactly what the Nintendo Wii does, but with graphics as good as or a little bit better than the other two systems. So then you can get all three game systems. You can get any system and play any game, but now you also have the Nintendo library on top of that, and that's exactly what's happening. Yeah. So just imagine a year from now, you'll have whatever. Say for example, GTA 5 will be on all three systems. And so that gives Nintendo obviously a huge advantage, because then any kid in the future will be like, well, I like the Zelda games. I like the Mario games. I love Smash Brothers. So I want to be able to play that and Call of Duty. I might as well just buy one system instead of two going forward.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say Nintendo has probably the best first-party games out there.
Somewhat.
I
think in the old days it did, but I think Microsoft's really come a long way. I think Sony's really come a long way as well over the years. But I think I'm really hyped about the new Nintendo machine, because they're going to come out at E3. They're really going to have to show some amazing stuff to make everybody go, I need to have that machine. And Nintendo's really good at that. So I have no idea what they're going to unveil, what new games they're going to show. Well, I shouldn't say new games. It's going to be older versions of new games, or newer versions of older games. So it's going to be interesting to see what they bring out from the hat. I'm excited about it. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't even predict what they're going to show. They're going to probably show a new Metroid game, a new Mario game.
I don't know about a new Metroid after what happened with Other M. It was $15 at freaking Best Buy.
My thing is, Pete, what I think about Metroid Other M? That was like just a game to hold us over, while they were working behind the scenes on a true Metroid sequel.
I don't think so. They had high hopes for it. They said themselves they didn't understand why it didn't sell that well. So I think
they should really look at what they did then.
Yeah.
Maybe giving
her to the series
and all of that, and making her a cheesy character when she's not supposed to be a cheesy character. She's supposed to be a hardcore bounty hunter. But I think they'll show something of Metroid. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care about that.
So Pete, you said they're done with Metroid, or just for a while?
No, they said they couldn't understand why Metroid Other M didn't sell that well. Nintendo said that themselves. Reggie came out and said it. Like they were puzzled as to why it sold so poorly, and the game is selling. And when's the last time you saw this? I mean, Nintendo just announced that they're coming out with 1999 budget Wii games for like Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess, and Smash Brothers. Finally, there's prices on those. But when do you ever see a first party, let alone a Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Kirby, any kind of game like that, $14.99, not even a year after it comes out?
I know you never see.
That's unheard of. So something went wrong with that. That just the sales just weren't there.
They're always working on a sequel, though. They're always working on a sequel. They're never just going to go, oh, it bombed, so let's just wait 2 years. I think they're working on something still.
I think they're going to go back to all totally classic 2D side-scrolling Metroid. That'll sell for sure.
I'd love that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I think Super Metroid is probably my favorite Metroid.
Yeah, I hope they go do something back like that again. That would be, but with really good next-gen graphics. Like,
yeah.
That's the problem with doing this podcast. Is every time we get around to talking about some games that we all love, like I'm trying to finish some games, which I'll get to in what we've been playing recently. But now it's like you want me to go back and finish playing some Metroid Prime and Super Metroid. Christ, I can never concentrate on 1-2 games at a time.
It's hard, isn't it? I know. I put Dragon Quest V down, and I'm like, I better get back to it.
I have a question for you guys. I mean, we're talking about the NES and we're talking about modern games. What NES game would you like to see them remake into today's generation?
What do you think, Pat?
Well, if you've seen some of my videos, Top Secret Episode is one of my all-time favorite NES games, the Golgo 13, and it's a travesty that there has not been a single game outside of silent scope type sniping games in Japan in the arcade. There hasn't been a single game made in the past 20 years nearly with this character. Supposedly they were going to make an N64 game with him, and it fell through, I remember. So yeah, I want to see Duke Togo come back in a major way.
Yeah, he's a classic Japanese character, that's for sure.
The little hitman, 47, whatever that guy is, that little wuss. But Duke Togo is the real deal. So we need to see him back kicking ass.
I remember that game when I was a kid. I always went to the store to go find it to buy it because I'm like, oh, it's kind of like based off that manga. I was so excited about it. I could never get it as a kid. I must have gone to so many stores. Yeah. you know? And it used to be always advertised in all the video game magazines ahead of time. And I go to the store and I'd look, and it wasn't there. I'm like, God damn it! I'd always, end up getting something really lame, like actually, it's funny. Rob just you know it, Pat. Tombs and Treasure, because it's funny. We just did a major review of that game, and I just did a type to see who else had looked into it. And I think you played it, and it was in your marathon.
Well, yeah, I played everything in the marathon.
Yeah, so you played that. But so no, it's kind of funny because it showed up Tombs and Treasure. I'm like, oh, that's cool that he played that or whatever type of thing. So I clicked in the video for a brief second, but I could tell it wasn't a review.
Tombs and Treasures. I don't think I may have played that back in college for like 20, 25 minutes where you're like, you're like a kid, you're trying to save the uncle or something, or the adventurer got lost or something. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, Rob, it's funny because I bought the game as a kid, like in 1989, and I could not figure out how to get anywhere, how to do anything, and I was so frustrated. And I thought I was pretty good at video games back then, and I think I was pretty good at video games back then. But this game was a mystery, and I met up with Rob. Rob, man, he's another guy on the show, Pat. If you've ever seen the Happy Console Gamer Show, but I said, I can't beat this game. I'm like, do you want it? He's like, oh yeah, I sold it to him for $20. Beautiful mint copy of the game. He went home and figured the whole freaking game out with no strategy guide. I still don't know how he did that. I just don't get it. And that's what he mentioned in the review about how he got through one of the puzzles. It's just so obscure. It's like, like 20 minutes of putting this there, taking this there, going to another shrine, coming back, going back to that shrine, waiting for a certain time of the day. It was insanity. But
it's like an old school adventure game on the PC. I love that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the play mechanics of Tombs and Treasure were so, I can say on the podcast, fucked up. And it was very hard to navigate. I loved all those point-and-click adventures, but Tombs and Treasure took skill.
I think that's true with a lot of the classic NES games. It's so challenging compared to games today.
Oh, yeah.
But
I remember at the end of I just did the Zelda. Rue and I from Clan of the Grey Wolf. We did the 2-part charity event for the playthrough of Legend of Zelda for the 20th anniversary, and we did the second quest about a month ago that I played through. And after that, I played through Contra. Did not necessarily a speed run, but I beat it on 6 lives. And people in the chat were amazed, like, "Oh my god, you're so good!" And it's like, you had to be that good back then in order to play all these games.
Yeah,
it's true.
There was a learning curve to some of the games, and some of the games you had to really honestly practice at. And nowadays, you don't really have to practice at many games to be good at them. You're kind of spoon-fed, how to play these new games, which is a shame. But I guess nowadays the market's different.
Well, we talked about it before. Like, look at a game, to what you're saying, like Halo. If you you said this before, John, if you're getting shot, you just hide around a corner. Your health recharges. You didn't get that in the NES days. You just died.
3 lives is over.
Yeah, it's over.
You didn't even get that in other PC first-person shooters. You never got that. You got health packs.
N64 games, you didn't get that. It really was like
armor or something,
Yeah. So, Jason, what game would you like to see from NES to today? Remake. Any particular games on the top of mind?
Oh God.
RC Pro Am. I was going to say something.
I actually was.
Dude.
That's screwed up. I wasn't going to go with my default micro machines because that's a given. Everyone knows that.
Machines.
But yeah, it would have. You know what? A good RC Pro Am, man. A good RC car racing game like that would be incredible. I mean, I think that game, when that came out, the original RC Pro Am came out in '87. I thought that game was way ahead of its time with having one of the first racing games ever to have that perspective. You guys remember that? It was like a bird's eye third person.
It really was good. Yeah, it was fun.
It was really
and what was cool about it is that it worked, right? The camera angle worked. Even when the car's kind of coming at you, the camera stays stationary. But yeah, it was really cool. It had great music, a great gem from Rare back in the day there. So I would love to see that. And also, the RC Pro Am 2 for NES, I'm sure, and Pat, I'm sure you know this too. That's the rarest of the two. You can find RC Pro Am everywhere, but Pro Am 2, that's a really rare game right there. I know it sells for a few pennies here and there on eBay and other places, but that was a great one because it had one of, and in my opinion, I think it was one of the first 4-player racing games that I'd ever seen. But I think in production, really, I don't think there was a game prior to that actually had support for 4 players.
You had a couple. What is it? Danny Sullivan's Indie Heat, I believe, was 4 players, more obscure. And actually, Super Off-Road for Nintendo supported 4 players.
Yeah, but did that come out? I don't know the dates, but
I gotta look it up. I believe it was around the same time period. But I actually didn't know that RC Program 2. I forgot that was 4 players.
Yeah, definitely. What a great gem there. So that would be my answer, guys. Definitely an RC Pro-Am into today's world would be awesome.
Could you do like hovercrafts and shit in that game, or was it just cars? Couldn't you wasn't there different vehicles you could do in RC Program?
There were different vehicles, but they all were vehicles that had tires.
Okay.
There was a truck, there was a buggy, there was a race car, there was a couple others.
John, you might be thinking of Micro Machines.
Micro Machines
you had a whole
definitely was.
Okay. That's not it. Yeah. That might be it. Yeah. Pete, how about you, buddy? Any games?
Something that would translate really well to the Wii, and let's say the new system does have a touchscreen. I think if a new Shadowgate came out on the Wii.
Oh, you stole mine.
Point and clicks, with the Wii remote and pulling the levers and the doors. And if there's a touchscreen on the controller, you have to touch where you want to point and click. But I won't get into it too much. I'll let Johnny talk about it then. Something else.
You said everything that I would say about it.
Okay.
I was actually going to say something surprising because I worked with Rob so closely doing the Tombs and Treasure review. I really started to enjoy the world setting of Tombs and Treasure. And as much as I bash the play mechanics, I think it's very, very hard to navigate through that game. But an updated version of that, as Tekka 2, as it's called, that would be fantastic. With modern day graphics, checking out the Mayan ruins and stuff like that, fighting monsters and stuff. That's a great, in a modern day setting of it, that could be pretty cool. So kind of Shadowgate, the point and click games would really translate well. That'd be awesome.
I'd like to, go ahead, B. Done?
Oh, no, I was just going to say one more.
Go ahead.
One more game that apparently everybody thought was going to get some sort of revival back when the characters were revealed in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. But that's the Ice Climbers. What happened with them? Like, Nintendo puts them into the Smash Bros. Game. Now, nothing's happening with them. So maybe
Summertime.
We'll see a revival on the new Nintendo system. Or on the 3DS. You never know. But go ahead, John.
And Pete, you just got to say to yourself, why haven't we got another Mother game as well? They put those characters in. They don't care. They're just doing it. They're just pulling the heartstrings of gamers. But some of the games
they did with freaking Kid Icarus.
Yeah, they're bringing back. Yeah, obviously. But
yeah. I'd like to see a new baseball all-star, or what's it?
Baseball Stars.
Baseball Stars.
Yeah. Even which went to obviously the Neo Geo.
Yeah.
Even beyond that,
like a Baseball Stars 3 or something. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Like really do a cell shaded cartoony. Baseball Stars would be awesome.
I think it's one of my favorite baseball games. There's a ton of, how many baseball games are there for the NES? Shit, there's
Baseball Stars for the NES. How many?
17 or 18 baseball games on the NES.
Wow. And what would you say, Pat? Like Baseball Stars is, because I can say for me, Baseball Stars is my favorite baseball game.
Baseball Stars 2, which is similar, but it was I think it was Romstar, not SNK.
Oh, was it? Oh, I didn't know
Baseball
that.
Stars. Yeah, Baseball Stars is probably my favorite baseball game. Followed closely by Dusty Diamond's All Star Softball, which it's a softball game, but it's still hysterically great.
It's SNK as well, right?
Dusty Diamond All Star Softball. Oh man, was that Tecmo? I gotta look that up real quick.
Yeah, but one thing I liked about Baseball Stars, it was like one of the first games where I could actually create a character, create a team, and like customize stuff, and like use that money that I won in games and put it back in building my team.
Yeah. Lovely ladies.
I was always beating up the lovely ladies,
Yeah.
Hitting the lovely lady. Like,
what were some of the other teams in that game? So
they have, they have the All Stars, like the Superstars, and they have Tokyo.
Oh my God.
There's some other ones.
Pat, save us. What were some of the names of the teams in that game?
Ninja.
You had the let's see. Well, the American Dreams. That was the Hall of Famers. You had the I believe the Black Sox.
Black Sox.
There. You had the Monsters, where you had players like Medusa and Jason and Freddy on it.
Yeah.
Let's try to think of what else. You had the generic sort of. There was like a British team, I believe. All the guys had sort of like British first names. I think it was called like the World Powers or something.
Yeah. That sounds familiar.
I said the Black Sox already. Oh man,
you take me back. I'd say the American Dreams. Hearing that again is tripping.
Put me on the spot with the Baseball Stars team. Jeez.
Sorry, we're not trying to. We were calling the spot because we couldn't remember.
Remember last podcast we had a question where a guy was commenting about asking us if we put like what we use for names and characters in games. And Baseball Stars was one of those games where I'd actually like my team I would create. with like friends in real life and like people I know in real life. It was pretty funny. So
people you had sex with and stuff like that.
yeah, all dudes.
Oh yeah, all the guys. Bob.
All
Bob. Ben. I look at good old Ben. He is a great guy.
Harry.
Yeah. Oh, Christ.
Good times.
Okay, what should we move on to right now? Should we?
Well, yeah. What should we move on to? You guys want to give us some questions?
I think so.
Yeah. Let's get into dive into the questions.
Yeah, just do some audio questions for sure.
Pat, you're welcome to stick around for this if you want, or if it's up to you, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
awesome.
cool,
Definitely.
I got nowhere to go.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Well, usually the podcast gets really late, and some people are like, "Yeah, it's just they're like, we're starting to wear them out," type of thing.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Richard from Pete's Game Room Forum, aka Triforce Rich YouTube channel. First of all, I just want to say you guys are doing a great thing here. I love all Gen Gamers, love all your individual channels, or in Gamester's case, the 5,000 that he runs. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this question.
Oh, I think we're just getting rickrolled right now.
Holy,
Yeah, we totally are.
that guy.
Hey,
is awesome.
hey guys, who are you voting for president? Because it's 2008 again.
Yeah, really. I haven't been rickrolled
Yeah, I
in so
didn't-
long.
I love
Yeah,
getting.
you know when they
rickrolled.
come in, I just throw them in here and playing. This one's 3 minutes long. He played the whole fucking song. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, he played the whole damn song.
Me and John are dancing over here naked.
hilarious.
We're loving it.
All right. Well, thanks, Triforce Rich.
Hope we answered your
You
question.
guys don't pre-screen these questions? Is that
Oh,
correct?
we love doing this.
We love doing just
love doing
random
this.
because that makes the best. We don't even listen to them.
Yeah.
Hello, all Gen Gamers. This is Bondi TV from YouTube, and my question to you is: if you could go back in time and buy one rare game for retail price, and then bring it back to the present and play it, but you can't sell it, what would you pick? It'd be great if you could put my question on the show. I think you're doing a great job.
I like that question.
Yeah,
That's a good question, Pat.
yeah, that's a great question.
Pat, what would you do? You're on
What
the
was
spot.
that? If you can have a game back then that you would sell if you couldn't play, what was that?
No. If you could have sex with a man back in the past and bring his sperm into the future to impregnate another man with.
Oh, that's Julius Caesar. That's a no-brainer.
No. I think
that's-
the question was if you could go back in time right now and buy a game off the shelf from the NES days and bring it back in
Or
time now.
anytime, any retro. But
Yeah, any retro time
Yeah.
type of thing. What game would you do?
And no, you couldn't sell it today, so you can't buy it to make money. You buy it just to play it.
Just to play it.
I am.
Yeah, that's what you just said. Yeah, you said.
Yeah, he said he threw that in at the end. He said, "Not sell it, just play it."
What's the difference between me buying it now to play it versus?
No shit, I know.
I'm trying to
Well,
think.
I think the point is that back then it would just be like a
Right.
retail price.
Okay, all right.
Where today it would be worth a ton more, or not.
Wow,
you know?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to pass on this one. I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just a tough one because we can go.
Yeah,
and
think
buy
about it.
stuff. Yeah.
It was really hard.
Yeah, like if it's to like gain money, I'd go back in time when I first bought Earthbound. I walked into the store and there must have been about 25 copies all behind the counter, and I bought my copy for I forget what it was, $70 at the time, but I would have bought all 20 copies. Like if I could do it again.
I think it's more of a question of like what game is very expensive to get your hands on now that you want to play.
I think
That-
so.
How about we rephrase the question this way? Let's choose a game that you wish you played when it first came out, but you didn't, just to experience it like back then when it first was fresh. How about that?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good way of saying it.
I must be so old that I played everything I wanted to play back then when it first came out. I
really?
did.
I know my answer. I wish I had
Right.
played Final Fantasy 1 when it first came out because I had not known of the realm of RPGs until quite a long time later. Pokemon, I guess you could say, was probably my first RPG, but really, like I said, Final Fantasy 7. So even though I was playing games for a really long time, I didn't really get into RPGs. And when I did get a taste of them, I'm like, what the hell is this? And I just shut it off after 10 minutes because I didn't understand what the hell was going on. So I'd probably say I wish I played Final Fantasy.
It's funny. I was there the week it got released and brought it home with me from Reno. I think I did an episode on that. And yeah, it just blew my mind, that game, Final Fantasy. It's awesome. First. What would you say, John? Like,
I'm stumped, man.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's hard because, like you said, I kind of played most of the games I wanted to play, but
But let's say financial reasons.
Huh?
If you could buy a game now, would be what you say, stadium events. You know, anybody say that?
Yeah, stadium events would be a good one to find, of course. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Davis can bite me.
Yeah, I'm thinking back, even harking back to the Atari 2600 days, like getting a Texas Chainsaw Massacre or
Christ.
you know, some of those old like rarities for the what's that the game I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it's like the Puppy Chow one for the Atari 2600. Like
Chase the Chuck Wagon.
yes, thank you, Chase the Chuck Wagon.
I don't know that.
It was like what's the history on that? It was like only available through the dog food. Or
Yeah,
some
it was
shit?
a dog food giveaway. It was.
Wow.
That
Sent
would
to
be my-
UPCs, and then it's actually not the rarest Atari game, but that's the most famous one because the name is so ridiculous.
What the hell did you call it? Jason's Chuck Wagon? What was it?
Chase the Chuck Wagon.
Oh, I thought you said Jason's Chuck Wagon. I was like, say what?
That would be my pick.
Jason, what would you pick, man?
Well, I'm totally stumped here too. Originally, I was going to say I would have probably gone back and really just gotten into RPGs because I really never touched an RPG growing up until Chrono Trigger. Of course, that was mid '90s.
Yeah.
So, and then I went back and started working on getting all the games and all that. But I guess what I would say I would have back in the day, I wish I would have gotten involved with more of the Nintendo game playing competitions and actually gone and traveled and competed and just been there at the events. These were like magical times. You know what I mean? And you always saw them on TV and the highlights and all that. And like they had small ones at the malls where I grew up at, but like I didn't know of the huge ones that they had in California. And man, it would have been awesome to have traveled and been a part of that. I probably would have been proactive on that.
California
Knows how to party.
Great shit.
That's good stuff. Johnny, did you answer?
Oh yeah, I've done. Next question.
Okay, next question.
Don't tell me what to do,
I'm telling you what to do, fool.
fool.
Hey guys, this is Crash5510 or PK Crash from the forums, and I wanted to ask you guys, what is your opinion on the GameStop Power-Up Rewards program? And if you don't know what this is, I'll explain it briefly. Basically,
garbage.
what you do is you sign up at GameStop for this card. They give you the card, and when you make an online purchase, when you trade something in, when you buy something at the store, whenever you do something GameStop related, make a pre-order, anything like that, you get points. And every dollar that you spend equals a certain amount of points that you can spend on the Power Up Rewards store. And on the store, you can get discounts like $5 off of any pre-owned game or $10 off of any GameStop purchase. You can even get like a Pac-Man plush or a Halo wristband, I think is one of the things I saw on there. Call of Duty dog tags.
Garbage.
Most of it is like pretty crappy stuff, but I think the discounts are really what a lot of people look for. So I was wondering what your opinions are on that.
Garbage.
Do you guys have a Power Up Rewards card? I know that all of you don't live in the United States, so I was wondering how things in Canada work, if
Garbage.
they have that at EB Games. And thanks for choosing my question, guys.
Garbage.
Wait, is it garbage?
I have a card, but I use it, I guess, every once in a while when I go to GameStop to buy a used game, but I don't use the points because I got it when the card first came out, and I guess back then the only thing you can get was like a bag of chips and pizza, which I know Jason wouldn't mind, but they didn't have anything worthwhile. I mean, now, hey, Pac-Man plush, whatever, Halo dog tags, that's a load of crap. But yeah,
Garbage.
I just use my GameStop cards for the used game discount, and that's it.
Yep, I'm the same way, Pete. You answered it for me. I did the same. Yeah, I've got it, but I use it for the small discounts they give you on the used games. That's it. The rest of the shit is garbage.
Jason.
I would trade in everything for some good service or people that give a goddamn or know half a shit. I would trade it all in for that.
But Jason,
GameStop can't give me anything.
pissed. He's angry.
Garbage. The shit is garbage.
Jason.
Garbage.
Jason,
Garbage.
God, get a hold of yourself, man. Honestly, somebody needs to slap you right now and shake you. I'm telling you.
I just woke up. I just woke up.
Oh, he's a maniac.
I just woke up. I blacked out. Are we still here? Are we doing a podcast? What's going on?
Jason, I was just about to tell you something, that if you lived up in here in Canada, for every 2 games you buy at GameStop, you actually get free poutine.
Poutine.
There you go.
Are you kidding me? Oh, I'm moving. I'm getting a fucking plane ticket.
Yeah, you buy 2
Garbage.
Buy 2 Halo Reaches, you get 1 poutine. It's a great.
Poutine.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Halo reaches is. That's
Yeah,
why.
but you have only 2 Halo Reaches. That's the deal.
So, you know what? If I buy 2 of them, I want to get a certified Halo Reach Around.
Oh, he's so angry, man. But I'm with you. I'm not interested in that fucking card either, Jason. So, but I'm not as angry as you about it.
You know, honestly, I'm kind of the opposite. It's a loyalty card, and I use it for my discounts. But shit, if they're gonna give me free shit on top of buying stuff, why not? What's the harm in that? It's a loyalty thing.
Yeah, no harm in it. I'm just saying, this shit's garbage.
It's garbage, but would you have garbage and nothing? Or nothing instead of garbage? I mean...
Well, I don't know.
Would you rather have $5 off coupon to GameStop to use later, or would you rather have nothing?
Nothing.
What are we arguing
Garbage,
about?
take nothing.
What are we arguing about?
I don't want anything, goddammit. I don't want anything.
This is the loyalty part. Did you listen to the guy? He said you can get $5 off coupon, you get $10 off coupon, you can get plushes, you can get condoms, or I don't know, shit like that.
Poutine.
Well, fucking pizza and
Poutine.
I'll take it all. It's all garbage.
Did we mention officially on the podcast that we had poutine tonight?
No, yeah, I guess we'll just chime in. Maybe this will settle Jason down a little bit. But John, why don't you explain? I took John up the road, and he finally got to have some Canadian poutine.
Poutine.
It was an orgy in my mouth is the best way to explain the taste of it. Orgy in my mouth. It was, my taste buds were on fire, and it was definitely good shit.
Yeah.
So I know.
That's what you're gonna say about it?
Why don't you explain what the hell it is?
Yeah.
We've explained on the we've explained it before on the podcast, but for those who haven't heard, but it's French fries, with gravy and cheese curds, on them,
which sounds absolutely bizarre.
Very bizarre.
And Pat was saying that you guys have something in the States that's similar, but it's called, what is it called? Like
what's it called, Pat?
Disco fries?
Disco fries is probably the same family.
There you go. I like that.
I was liking the beat there.
Yeah.
You shouldn't stop the beat. I was kind of liking that. But yeah, so that's something that was created in Quebec, and it's become kind of well known throughout Canada. You can get it at quite a lot of Canadian restaurants. In fact, if you go to Burger King, you can get French fries, you can get onion rings, or you can get poutine.
Poutine.
How about punani?
Yeah, it's some, but you have to sell yourself, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, how is the punani up there?
Well, we're gonna go get some of that after this right now. So
fucking disco fries. I love that name.
Disco. Yeah, we don't have disco fries in Arizona. Is that in California, Pat? Have you seen those?
That was more of a New Jersey thing, East Coast thing.
Oh, New Jersey.
I'm sure they had them out here too. They probably named something different.
Yeah.
I want the freaking Bee Gees to bring that shit out to me with bell bottoms on. That's what I want. Eat my disco fries.
So we brought up the poutine story, Jason, to calm you down a little bit.
Thank you. I feel fine, and I'm really happy to be here too. You know, so.
Whenever he says that, he's pissed. He's super angry.
You start bringing up GameStop, you gotta start freaking pissing me off.
How do we get from GameStop to poutine? Anyway, yeah. Okay, next question. We're going on to the next question.
Next question.
After the podcast is done, you guys go submit an audio question, please. Send them to contact@allgengamers.com and we will listen to them.
Did you answer that question, Pat? What are your thoughts about the power up?
I haven't bought a game in GameStop probably since it was Funko Land.
There you go.
Yeah, when they stopped selling NES games.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is a long time ago.
That's when the music died, when they sold out to GameStop all the Funko Lands back in like 2004, 2005.
Yeah, I remember Funko Land, yeah.
Wow. So no new gaming for you, Pat, at all?
I mean, I have a 360. I have a Wii, but I just don't have a lot of time to play them. The newest game I bought was NBA Jam for the 360, which I enjoy a lot. And I am probably going to pre-order LA Noire. That looks incredible.
Yeah, a lot of people about that one for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be that harkens back to old PC adventure games. Basically, all the solving some puzzles, putting together clues, and the fact that the facial recognition is so great that you actually can tell people are lying. That's unbelievable. That's never been done before.
I know. It's very exciting to see that for sure. I didn't know how much new school gaming that you actually did. Didn't have a clue. But that's cool. Are you getting that game, Pete?
I probably will because it does look very impressive.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm going to pass on it, actually.
All right.
It's not my... You know what? It looks amazing. It looks unbelievable, but it's one of those games I'm like, I don't really need to own it.
Huh.
I'll probably get it cheap, for sure.
I'll get it. I'll get it.
He's going to get it.
I'll get it. Why not? Why not? So, all right. Next audio question.
Next, just do it.
Hey, guys. This is Gibby from the channel Escapades. And my question is for the entire group. What is the best game each of you have picked up as a result of discovering it on it from a YouTube video. The best game for me so far was easily Demon's Crest, which I first saw on Johnny's channel, and then later I also saw it on Jill3 and Luke Moore's channels as well. So I was just curious to hear what great titles YouTube has brought to your attention that you guys might have missed out on otherwise.
Oh
my God.
That's a tough one because it's just there is a lot. I'm just trying to think here.
I'm looking around the room right now. I'm like, let's see.
Yeah, I know.
These are some tough questions. I mean,
I know they are.
These require some research and note taking.
Our listeners, they're something else. I'll tell you.
I feel like you need a freaking TI-82 graphing calculator to answer some of these.
I know.
Put in some equations.
SATs and shit all over again.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Best YouTube game I found on YouTube? Oh, man.
That's tough because the only time I go on YouTube, I don't go on YouTube to find new games. I'll go on YouTube to look at previews.
Yeah, after I discovered somewhere else or something.
Exactly.
Johnny's cheating. He's going in his room. I don't have the benefit of going to my room and looking at stuff.
I'm in your room right now.
The room and have a look. I guess for me, I just walked in the other room and this one that kind of jumped out at me was Demon Souls. I kind of looked at that and I'm like, everybody was bugging me to play the game forever and ever and ever. And I finally picked up a copy and I'd seen a lot of gameplay videos. And you know what? I didn't really like it. I thought it was okay. I don't think it's my type of thing. I can understand why other people liked it. Not my thing at all. Did you like that game, Pete?
I loved it.
Did you?
Yeah, it was in my top. It was number 2, I think, for my top 10 games of 2000.
Didn't do it at all. I liked the control. I liked a lot of things, but it just wasn't my formula of a game. But that's one game that I guess everybody told me to go play. I did. It wasn't really for me too much. What would you say, Pete?
I'm looking around. I can't really find a game where I'm.
I think, like you guys said, I usually watch YouTube for reviews of games I already know about.
Yeah, I'm not sounding terrible, but I kind of think I research on my own games that I'm really interested in, or I own most of the games that I like.
Really I'm trying to think how you would just stumble upon an amazing game without kind of knowing about it first.
Yeah, if you're into this hobby, it's your hobby. You kind of know about the stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
Maybe a PC Engine game, I don't know, I'm trying to think.
Something obscure, maybe? Something, yeah.
There's definitely been situations where I'll look at a review of a game, I know about it, like the new Splattertrigger, or Splatterhouse, not Splattertrigger, the Splatterhouse. And, I've heard reviews that the game's not very good.
Yeah.
So I won't necessarily go buy it. So almost the opposite effect, where rather than encouraging me to get a game, it's almost turned me away from getting a game.
It's actually helped me, and I speak for all of us, I'm sure. It's actually helped us tremendously in deciding if we're going to buy them or not. I mean, would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess we can say that there's been a lot of videos that people have done on YouTube, that are not IGN or Machinima or whatever, that you look at and go, I trust this guy, and I'm not going to buy the game because, I trust his opinion on it.
Yeah, or just watch straight up gameplay of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I have an answer. I just thought of it.
Oh, he's got one.
Retrocalypse introduced me to, thanks to his DS videos, the Taiko no Tatsujin series. He's the one that got me started, buying them on the DS, and now I've got 5 of them now. So yeah, thank you, Retrocalypse.
Cool.
Yeah, he made me look at Nights in the Nightmare. That's why I thought you were going to say it first.
Actually, I just bought that on the PSP, believe it or not. $10 on Amazon. Free shipping.
Yeah. Cool. I was looking at it the other day. Just snag it.
You should have a melon guess. That'd be great.
What?
If we can get a melon as a guess, that'd be good.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know.
It's hard to get Retrocalypse these days.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the audio questions I got, guys. So again, you guys go ahead and submit your audio questions to contact@allgengamers.com. So send them on in. Thanks for sending the ones that you have done so far.
We like the Rick Rolled one. We thought that was...
Yeah.
We started dancing in the season.
We were naked. It was one of those things that happens.
Should we go on to games we've been playing recently? Pete, we'll start with you.
This will be the short answer.
I've been playing quite a bit of StarCraft 2 because I did my top 10 in 2010 in freaking the end of April. Good timing there. But having talked about the game got me kind of wanting to play it some more, so I have been playing that quite a bit. I've been watching streams on Justin TV of the pro games and the commentary, and 10,000 people watching it at the same time. It's a lot of fun. But I have gone back and started up a particular Dreamcast game. Any guesses as to what that Dreamcast game may be?
Sonic Adventure.
No.
An RPG?
Possibly.
Seaman.
No.
That's a good game, by the way.
I want to play Seaman, actually.
Shenmue.
Yeah, Shenmue.
Yay! You're good tonight,
For
John.
the fourth time, I am starting up Shenmue once again. I'm going at it with a different approach this time, though. In the beginning of the game, I'm trying to power my way through it as fast as possible because for some unforsaken reason, every time I start a new game of Shenmue, I always lose interest. I mean, I enjoy it, but for some reason, I just stop playing out of nowhere. So I'm happy with my progress so far. I'm up to the point in the story now where I have to try and find the Charlie, the guy with the tattoo. So I don't know, Johnny, you probably know where that is. It's still early on.
That's the thing about Shenmue. It's always like find the guy, find the guys in the black cars, and then it leads you to this, then it leads you to that. It's kind of like from one bit to the next bit. So yeah, you're just at another bit somewhere in there.
But what I'm also trying to do this time through is examine a lot of stuff. Whereas past times I had gone through, I didn't really take the time to stop and look at every little thing in the shops. But this time I'm stopping and I'm examining every little poster and everything like that to have a better appreciation for the game. And it's, my God, it was so amazing how ahead of time this game was at the time. And I did buy this when it came out because I remember I was watching a TV show, and it's one of those things, where you see something and it's like you remember the exact moment where you were in the house, where your TV was, like what was going on. Like I remember seeing the preview for Shenmue and I'm like, oh my God, I have to buy this game. So I went out and got it, and I don't know, I'd lost interest with it at the time because I guess it wasn't what I expected. I still really enjoyed it.
A lot of people, right? Yeah. A lot of people expect an action game or something all the time.
Because I think what it was I didn't expect it to be so slow going at first. And, the combat when it first started getting into it was all quick time. And I was like, oh, well, that's not kind of what I was expecting. But I understand it all now. But Johnny, it's funny, when you did your video for Shenmue, and you were talking about, you went to the capsule toys and you kept on buying one more after the other. Just one more. I was hooked on that today. So I was on the Sonic the Hedgehog.
I was about to say there's so many Sonic figures to get, right? So
I was popping them open. I'm like, wow, which one am I going to get next? And I don't know. It's just so much fun. No other game has really attempted something like that I know of with capsule toys.
Keep going. Don't stop, honestly. Because if you get through that one, Shenmue 2 is a real treat. It's a lot more action-oriented. The storyline is a lot bigger. It's something to really look into.
That's why I don't want to say I'm forcing myself to go through Shenmue, which I'm not.
It's hard. I understand. I had to do the review, so I had to go play through a lot of the game again. So
because that makes it sound so bad. It's like I'm forcing myself to play through this game. But no, like I am enjoying what I've played so far. And it's definitely a game that some would probably argue has not aged well, but I would say it has. The controls are a little finicky at times, having...
Yeah, and the houses is a bit weird, I know.
Yeah. It was funny that when I booted it up again, I was going through Ryu's house, and I'm like, I was lost. I'm like, how the hell? Where's my room? I don't know where the hell I'm going, but some things aren't as great as they could be, but I can't wait to play some more of that and get into Shenmue 2 to experience this unbelievable ending that I always hear about.
Well, yeah, hopefully it's not too hyped up for you, but I think it's a very good ending. Yeah. Good cliffhanger, for sure.
Yeah, well, that might not be a good thing, because then I'll be one of those people that's just dying for Shenmue 3 constantly.
I know I am. Definitely.
And a game that was kind of forced upon me, Sega sent me Thor for the Wii in the mail. I didn't request it or anything. I didn't expect it. So I'm like, okay, got to review this game now. So I started playing that yesterday. I actually played it for 3 hours straight. And believe it or not, it was kind of bad at the beginning. Like it was very, I guess you can say, I don't really play games based on movies much, but you can tell it was like another one of these games. But by the time I hit the 2 hour mark and started unlocking some moves, it starts to become sort of like a cheap God of War knockoff. And it is a waggle game. So unfortunately it does have the, shake the Wii remote this way, that way, then do the attacks and everything. But it's actually quite responsive. So I'd say 85 to 90% of the time, the motion that I do, it does that in the game. And I don't know, there's just something very satisfying about knocking tornadoes out of my fist, or my hammer, I should say, and, doing lightning attacks. And something that I just unlocked that was really cool is you can point the Wii remote at the screen and sort of shoot lightning around.
Cool.
So overall, I'd say it's a pretty enjoyable game so far. I'm more than halfway through it. And then today, for Christ's sake, God damn it, Sega, don't do this to me again, please. For some reason, they sent me the 360 version as well. So now it's like, after I finish the Wii one, now I got to play the 360 one. So hopefully that one isn't too bad, but the Wii one is not that bad.
You get them for free though, huh?
Yes.
Can't beat that.
It's a start, so hey, what are you going to say? They're free, and I just got to review them in return, and I'll be brutally honest with them. So,
yeah.
Sure. Other than that,
he's looking around.
I did get. Yeah, I am looking around because I forget. I forget what I've mentioned on the last.
I can't remember either this week.
I did get a game on the DS called My Japanese Coach, and I've played very little of it. I can't play it yet, honestly, too much yet though, because they go into it with you, expecting that both alphabets, hiragana and katakana. So I only know hiragana, so I can't quite do it yet because I don't know everything. But that game, believe it or not, is quite expensive on eBay. You're talking $50, $60 for this game. So when I had the chance to buy it cheaper than that, I definitely jumped on it. And it's funny because all the other language games are like $15, $20, but the Japanese one is super expensive. I did download a whole bunch of demos and such on Xbox Live Arcade, but I can barely remember much about them, so I'll just pass it off to John.
Okay, I've been playing. Well, I got Pure Solar in the mail, which I was finally excited about. It took about 45 days.
45 days.
Now, John, I went back and watched I wasn't there when it was live, but I went back and I watched the stream later on. I was jumping around, and I have to say, I'm assuming you're on the same bandwagon as many people, that you're not a fan of the crab boss, I would assume.
Dude, what the fuck? Like, this guy's super hard. I'm assuming I need to,
level up.
Same thing happened to me.
Okay, I'm assuming I need to level up and get armor or whatever, right? And then go back to him, because I'm assuming I reached him way too early, but damn, dude. This guy's freaking hard, the first boss. But I'll tell you what, I love the music.
Mm-hmm.
And
wait, no, did you use the Sega CD version with it for the music?
Did I use the Sega CD music? What's that?
Did you use oh, that's right. You got the newer edition, right?
Right, it didn't come with the Sega.
Oh, it didn't come with a CD? Oh, shit. Okay. Well, that was something in the first prints. It came with a CD as well.
Way to fucking rub it in, dude. No, I'm just kidding. Way to fucking rub it in. No.
It came with a CD that you, like, if I have my Sega CDX, so I put the CD in and the cartridge, and it'll play Sega CD
that's really
quality
cool.
music.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. But I love the artwork. I love the box is, I guess, the clamshell. Yours is a cardboard box. Is that right? Or?
Yeah, the very nice glossy cardboard box with the manual that's attached.
Go shut up somewhere.
For homebrew that they put into it, I mean, it looks very legit, like something you would definitely buy off the shelves, official game. So I was very pleased with that. I purchased Mortal Kombat.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, for the PS3. I wanted the PS3 because of
Kratos?
Kratos, thank you. But obviously I can't play it online, so that's kind of wait to be seen.
Online right now.
Just do a quick update on that. Still a week later. Last time we recorded, PSN was down for a week. It is still down.
Yeah.
And Sony has supposedly said that their gift to everybody is going to be a free month of PlayStation Plus, a free game download, and some service called Curiosity. I say bullshit. Like, they need to give you something more than that. That is.
Well, wait a second. They're giving you a free service anyways. So what I want to know is, what for the PlayStation Plus people who actually pay for that service, what do they get?
1 month.
But here's the thing: PlayStation Plus, it's going to be free, but anything on PlayStation Plus, for the most part, you have to pay for anyway. So they're getting, and they're making money off of this, because I'm sure they're going to have people like use the free service, and then they're going to buy.
Well, yeah, if you do the PlayStation Plus stuff, you can understand.
It's a huge headache, and we'll wait to see.
Well, the funny thing is, I'm not getting into this, but everybody's bitching about this free network being down. This free online service. Now, if the Microsoft went down, I'd be upset because I pay for that every year, and I don't pay a lot of money for it, so I wouldn't be grumbling too much. But it's a free service. Like, I'm sure they'll get it back up when they get it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The argument is, though, is that the network is part of the value of you buying the PlayStation system, for better or for worse. That's a huge component to gaming nowadays, is being able to play online, and the fact that you can't, it's almost as if you can't experience what you purchased in some way. So there's arguments for and against that. I mean, do they have a right to complain? Maybe, but you don't have a right to say you're owed anything.
That's true.
Sure. No, good point. And as far as updates and shit, how's that going to handle if they do online?
Well, it'll be 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, back to Mortal Kombat real quick. I was able to play the story mode, and I really like it so far. It starts off with like Mortal Kombat 1, and graphics are good. They obviously brought back fatalities and super graphic. But the playability and just the controls are really rock solid on this version of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I wanted to. I was going to wait till it goes a little cheaper.
They really come back to the Mortal Kombat roots.
Yeah.
And it's really, I think they did a really fantastic job with it. So I really recommend Mortal Kombat if you guys have it. I've heard that even the PS3 version is better graphics than the 360. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it's kind of what I heard. What else have I been playing? I got my brother, as a late birthday gift, he gave me Star Wars Force Unleashed 2, finally. Nice. He gave me the special edition, so it came with like the Star Wars USB memory.
Well, remember, me and John actually saw them demoing the game at PAX. That was really cool in real time at that time. That was awesome.
Picks off right where the Force Unleashed left off. Graphics are great. Story is great. Very, very short game. That's the only thing I don't like about it. It's super short.
You beat it already?
What's that?
You beat it already?
I'm like 3/4 done. I'm like 3 hours into it, and I'm like almost done with the game.
Wow.
It's like super, super short. So
that's my kind of game.
Yeah, if you like the short games, it's an interesting story and the graphics are good. Play is good. It's kind of like God of War 3 Star Wars version, right? Essentially, because you do the mash buttons at certain times when your bosses and stuff. So between those three, that's pretty much it. And been traveling for work. So Johnny,
not a lot to report, but I wanted to thank Andrew Tate for sending me up my copy of Pure Solar as well. And I paid him for that, but he was awesome enough to send me he actually ordered 2 copies, and he actually sent me one of them up. So I haven't taken it out. I don't think I'm going to open it up. I was going to put it on the shelf. I'm really going to keep it as a collectible piece. And yes,
no. You must play Pure Solar.
Yes, Pete. And I was just going to get into it. I bow down to your copy of Pure Solar, the greatest copy ever. I do understand.
The packaging is a second afterthought. Like the game, you have to experience it. I'm telling you, you would appreciate it, John. You have to play it.
No, not being funny. I agree with you, but my argument is there's so many goddamn games that I need to experience. There's a lot of DS games that I need to experience. I like to experience more Radiant Historia. You know what I mean? So I'm not to start another game is just that's just another thing to do. I'm gonna. Sorry, John's like rattling through.
I'm opening it up right now.
Yeah, he's trying to open it up.
Think of it this way too, though, Johnny. So many people bought like doubles and such of Pure Solar that it's probably not going to be worth as much as.
I'm not doing it for. I'm doing it for collectability. I'm not doing it for money. It's just so. I'm just gonna put it up there. Who knows? Maybe one day it's a rainy day outside. I'm like, I would play some Pure Solar, and I crack it open and play it. So I'll wait for that day. I'll wait for
the emulator.
Wait for
that is listening to this podcast. Please harass Johnny. Send him.
Seriously, don't. It's just don't listen to him. He's crazy. But other than that, not been playing a lot. I was helping the girlfriend was very frustrated the other night. Like, real, and we're not talking sexually frustrated.
With the whale?
Yeah, with the whole whale thing. I'll get to that in a second. But she's playing Dragon Quest 6, and she's nearly near the end. So she goes to, I won't, no spoilers, but she goes to a place in the game where she should kind of get teleported to the final place. And she doesn't get teleported. She was going freaking irate. She had done every single thing in the game where I guess she had missed a piece of the armor. So I was trying to help her do that. So a lot of my gaming time is actually being trying to help her, through guides and stuff, trying to get through Dragon Quest 6. So I just want her to finish that game. She wants to move on to Dragon Quest 8 next. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And obviously, by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be like a week later. But I put a video out for the All Gen Gamers channel, and I think I kind of I floored everybody because it was like, what the fuck is this? But for any of you guys who haven't gone checked it out, go check out All Gen Gamers on YouTube and check out the video that I put up. I think it's called "Where's Johnny Millennium?" And it kind of shows something that happened with me and the whale. I get kind of busted, and actually, it's my girlfriend is in that video. She's actually walking around and doing all that. And I told her to put on the contacts because I knew that'd chip everybody out. I'm like, I said, we're going to make a video that's really going to be like messing with people's heads, kind of thing. And no pun intended. And I said, yeah, because I won't say anything, but she's in the movie and there's a scene where she has those contact lenses. So I'm like, so put them in it. So that'll be awesome.
That's cool.
Chip everybody out. So cool. That's it. I don't have a lot to report. Jason, what have you been playing?
Well, I as well don't have a whole lot to report. A few things I've been doing. I did a little contest this last week here for my 5,000 subscriber shout out thing, where I just took everyone's names of everyone who made a comment on the video, and I just basically like pulled out of a hat type of thing. So I gave away all 3 of my music, my studio albums. So I gave away some of my music in hard copies. That was really cool and fun. And I did that live. I streamed that on Justin TV. I guess back to playing. I fired up some Rainbow Six Vegas 2 for PC the other day. Did some live streaming of that, and I really like that game. But I'm also a really big fan of the whole Rainbow Six, duck and cover style gameplay. I'm thinking that Pete is too a little bit.
Hey, Jason, I have a question for you. Is that super glitchy? Because I know the 360 version was super glitchy when I was playing it.
I was having a few issues with it running on one of my computers for who knows why.
Yeah.
But that's aside and separate. But the AI is screwed up. The AI are just always where you don't like your teammates. They're always where you don't want them to be. You're always clipping on them. Sometimes they won't move into position. So yeah, that's glitchy. But other than that, it's pretty solid on PC. Why? What do you experience?
Yeah, it's like when I was playing it, I don't know if it was maybe my version or not, but it was just like it would freeze up. Like enemies would freeze, or I'd try to move, duck behind a table, and it would glitch out, and it was just really parts of the game were unplayable almost for me.
Weird. Yeah, I have it also on 360. I haven't played it on that yet, but now I'm really more interested to see what that's like.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just my particular disc. I don't know, but interesting.
Yeah,
cool.
Weird.
Yeah,
but
I really like it. It's short, kind of short as well, but it's good.
Yeah, it is short. It's one of those games where you can just kind of blaze through and, a good, 2 hours, 3 hours maybe?
Yeah.
It's not that long, but it sure is a fun time. What's great about that game, too, is that it also has co-op campaign. So you and a buddy can go through the entire single-player campaign together, and that makes the game so much better in my eyes. It has a whole lot of replay value at that point, so... So I've been playing that. So that's really cool. And then the final thing is, guess what? 45 days later, Jason Heine got his Pure Solar too.
Yeah. Wow. We all got the game.
We all got it. It's funny. It came in the mail, and then John texted me like maybe an hour after. He's like, dude, Pure Solar came in the mail. I'm like, no shit. So did mine. So like they had their shipping session party. And John, your game and my game, they were there together.
Yeah.
And they got shipped out on the same day. They were hanging out together.
But you do realize that Pete has the superior version to you guys and me.
Mm-hmm. With a attachment manual that licks your ball sack every 4 hours on the hour.
Don't tell me you're not jealous about that.
Shit, any sack attack nowadays, I am jealous of it. No, but you know what? I haven't opened mine either, and I'm never going to. It's going to go up on the wall. It's going to be a collector's piece. So
I'm not
fuck you,
the
Pete.
person. Thank you.
Yep. So fuck you, Pete.
God damn.
I opened up mine. If you want to play, Jason, I'll let you borrow it. It's really, I recommend checking it out. It's a really fun RPG. It kind of reminds, the graphics remind me of Chrono Trigger a lot. Just kind of, the music was probably the best part of it.
But it reminds me of Phantasy Star and Ease.
Yeah.
Oh, listen to you.
Dragon Quest.
Anything else, Jason?
No, that's it. Pat,
how about you, buddy? What have you been playing?
Well, besides Chase the Chuck Wagon and Leisure Suit Larry, let's see what I'm playing. Let's see, a little, besides NBA Jam on the 360, how about with my friends every now and then we'll have like game night. King of Fighters 2002, excellent fighting game on the 360 for download. Perfect Dark on the 360, which is an updated version of the N64 game. Extremely fun.
How is that? Can I ask real briefly? I get PMs daily of people saying that I love that game because I'm a big shooter fan. Is it like an updated N64 version? Because I loved it.
Yes, it's updated graphics a little bit. I mean, it's not extremely updated, but it's updated. And it's basically, the only time you're ever going to be able to play like an updated, a GoldenEye game. Because obviously, we know now the GoldenEye game that came out on the Wii recently, it doesn't have any of the original maps because they don't have the rights to them. But Perfect Dark, they threw the maps in there because it's the same company. So you can play Perfect Dark / GoldenEye, maps. And, a lot of the same weapons are in there or similar weapons. So that's, it's really good. There's a ton of maps on there. There's 4-player split screen, or you can play online versus someone else.
I'm gonna pick that up. I know you can get it. I've seen it used fairly cheap. I'm gonna pick that up.
Well, it's a download title. That's what I'm talking about.
He's talking about the Xbox Live Arcade version, not
the Xbox Live one.
Oh shit! We're talking about a totally. Didn't they release a Perfect Dark for a hard copy?
Yeah. It was a launch title. Wasn't it like a launch title?
Totally different game from the original Perfect Dark.
These people are talking about that. Okay.
Yeah, right.
See, now it's all clear.
The download
okay.
one, which is updated the 64 version.
Oh, jeez.
Really you're right. Jason, they did like a newer one. Like it was like a launch title for the 360 or earlier game, Perfect and Dark that was Zero. What's that? Yeah, Perfect Zero. Yeah,
that's what I thought everyone was talking about. They're not talking about that at all.
Now, how much is that? Is that 800 points?
I think it was on sale for. It's either 10 or 5. I don't know. It can't be 15 for that. Probably 10.
I think it's 800 points.
I love Perfect Dark.
Oh man, I'm gonna download that tonight, you guys.
Wow.
If you want to play,
let's fucking have a game night. That's what I'm saying. You guys want to get it too? Let's do a game night on that. Let's do a stream of that or something.
Yeah, it's tough. Awesome.
Totally nude stream.
Anything else?
Real quick, question to you guys though.
Well, I'm also playing. Actually, tonight before this podcast, I played a game to capture some video for my next review. Whoa!
Spoilers.
Not going to say what it is though. So. You'll see it in a few weeks.
Yeah, we can't wait for Pro-Am, RC Pro-Am. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. That'll be a short review, RC Pro-Am.
On the GoldenEye subject, though, real fast. Did you guys prefer... What was your favorite map to play multiplayer on? If you can remember the names. Mine, personally, was definitely the Complex. I can play that for hours on end. I love the level structure. I know the exact, where everything is right now through my head, and it's been quite a while since I've played it. I know a lot of people are a fan of the facility as well.
Facility, yeah. They're all pretty good. I think those are probably my favorite ones too.
Johnny's like, screw your first-person shooters.
No, what are you talking about? I love first-person shooters.
I probably like, Facility is probably one of my favorites. Those two are really my top ones. And then sometimes you just feel like going in Temple and just having basically like open war zone. You know, there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, what's the one with the caves?
I forget the name of that one.
That was a good one too. I forget the name of it too, but that was a good one. But man, that was like the greatest multiplayer game, like in person. You know, like that was really.
I knew that back then.
Yeah.
None of my friends had that game back then.
Really?
Really funny.
That's classic. Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I think we're gonna pass on Love Talk and Gaming Peace Theater this episode, just for time constraints.
Just because John's got to drive back down to Seattle. You know, you get this. As I said, I got to repeat this one more time because it's crazy to say the least. Driving up 2.5 hours to get here to do a podcast for 2.5 hours, and then he's driving 2.5 hours.
4 hours.
Well, for 4 hours. Excuse me. You've been here for 4 hours, then you're driving another 2.5 hours to go back.
How do you get my poutine?
Poutine.
Poutine or poutine? What do you say? Poutine.
Poutine.
I think is that a real French accent, Jason?
Yes, it is.
Something saying Vladimir Putin.
I know.
Yeah.
Poutine.
He loves this audio clip. He always plays it, and I can't say that I dislike it now.
So
I'm a bit of a fan.
Pat, it was awesome having you on. Okay, so where can people find you? They can find you on your website, RetroWare TV. Right?
Yeah, well, the punkeffect.com is my website, which
plug
is
everything.
My videos and also a few other featurettes on there, or RetroWare TV, which is a bunch of retro gaming goodness as well.
Good website, yeah, the RetroWareTV.com. So awesome. Well, hey, it's awesome having you on the show. And
yeah, it's been great. Have me back anytime. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Poutine.
Yeah, I'm pissed off at that.
Yeah, don't worry. He can take his single when he gets back.
He's pissed off at GameStop still for the.
You better bring some to me because it's fucking garbage. You guys had it.
See? Oh well. I'll let you be upset this one time, Jason.
All right.
You get your lover back next week.
We saw Rob Man tonight. It was good to see Rob.
We saw Rob. It was kind of frustrating. We're trying to do so much in 4 hours, you know, and
it's not possible.
We're gonna have Rob Man on tonight, but that would be complicated to do that. So we're gonna have Rob Man on next week's episode. So that'll be good stuff.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Okay, so we can